Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be solving the May 10th challenge. So let's get into the question. So the question is about the combination sum 3. So the question is like this. So they will give us k and n. N is the total sum, and k is the number of digits. Now what we have to find out? We have to find out digits between 1 to 9, unique digit at most one occurrence, 1 to 9, which adds when we add up will give the sum n. So for this example, k is 3 and sum is n. 3-digit number 1, 2 and 3 numbers added up to get 7. This is the only possible way. And the next example is 3 and 9. We should get sum 9 with three numbers. So these are the combination of numbers which will produce sum 9. Since this is having 1 to we have to choose between only 1 to 9, and it should be chosen only at most once. This will be easy to implement. So let's see how we will be implementing it and what's the algorithm. So to get to the algorithm, let us take this one as the example. K is 3 and n is 9. Let me write it down. N we will be writing a recursive function which will be taking n, k and the result so far array. Okay, for our input, and this recursion function will store our output in the result array, which is a non-local variable. Okay, so we will be inserting at first. When we call the function, we'll be calling the function with n as 9 and k as 3 and the result array as empty array. Okay, so we will have 9 options to choose from at the first time. So we have used n as 9 and k as 3. As we can choose digits between 1 and 9, we have 9 option at the first go. And respective goes will be like we will be we should not use 1 again, right? So then we will be concentrating only on the greater elements which have not been used anymore. So let's the first time when we get into the function, we will check whether n is 0 and k is also 0. If so, then we will store our r into our result set. So this time n is also not 0 and k is also not 0, so we will not be storing our result set into the main result. So let's now the recursion call will be we will check for the previous element in the result. As there are nothing, so our previous element will become 0. Okay, so our for loop will start from previous plus 1 to 10. So our for loop will start from previous plus 1, which is 1 to 10. 10 means it will be 9. In Python, 10 is exclusive. So 1 to 9 for loop will start, and for each for loop with this value, we will try to subtract this value with the n, and we will try to call it recursively. So for the first call, we will choose 1. So our n will become 8. Our k will become 2 because we used one element, so we will reduce our k. It will become 2, and our result so far will become 1. Similarly, in the next option, we have it as a 2. So we reduce n by 2, that will become 7. Okay, and our 3 will also be reduced to 2 because we used up one element, and our result so far will become 2 since we used 2 right now. So this way it will continue for all 9 elements, all 9 in this for loop, all from 1 to 9, everything we will try to consume. This is depth first kind of thing. So this will start. Now our previous element is not empty, so our previous element is 1. So our for loop will start from previous element plus 1 to 9. Okay, that is from 2 to 9 it will start. In this case we will try to consume 2. We will reduce 2 in the 8, so we get 6, and we reduce, since we are using one element, we will reduce the k to 1, and our result set will be like, already we have 1 and now we try to use 2, so it will be 2. Okay, this way we chose option 2. Now for the next option will be 3, so we'll be choosing 3. When we subtract 3 with 8, we will get 5 comma we used up, we have to reduce our k by 1, and we have to append our whatever we choose in our results so far list array. So this also will continue till 9. Okay, now let us see this one. Now our previous element was 2, so we can start our for loop from 3 to 9. So in this case first time when we try to choose 3, now we subtract 3 with this one, so it becomes 3, and we subtract 1 from our k will become 0, and our result array will become 1 and 2 and k 3. Okay, similarly for when we choose 4, when we choose 5, also this n will not become 0, so n will become, in this case when we choose 4, the n will become 6 minus 4 is 2, and in this other case it will become 1. In the when we choose n is equal to 6, that time only our n value will become 0, and our k value is also already 0, because k is 1 minus 1 is 0, and our result set will be 1 comma 2 comma 3 6, since we choose 6 now. Okay, now this will also continue till 9. Okay, and for this one, when we minus this, since our previous element is 3, our for loop will start from 4 to 9. So when we start with 4, our n will become 4 minus 5 is 1. In the next for loop, when we use 5, that time our n will become 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. That one we will try to see here. So 5 minus 5 is 0, and our k will become 0, and our result so far will become 1, which is 1 minus 1 comma 3 we already have, comma 5. Okay, in the next time when we come into the function, this will see this one, and it will reject this, and it will not move forward because k is 0. And if it is seeing this one, it will accept this result and store this value into our result. So because n and k should be 0, only then this whatever is there will be stored into our result. Okay, similarly here also we have zeros for n and k, so this will also be stored into the result. This is how we will be implementing it. So let's see how we implement it in Python. So first of all, we will use one variable to store our final result, and we will return that result. Now we have to fill the result, so I will write a function. Okay, in this function, as we told, it will take 3 parameters, n, k, and our result so far. And if it is either n becomes 0 or k becomes 0, or okay, if these two cases appear, then we have to break the recursion. So we will return it. In case if n is also 0 and k is also 0, means our condition to store the result, and the result so far should also not be empty. Okay, in that case we will store the result in our result variable. Okay, this is how we store the result variable. Now it's time for recursion. For x in range, we know the upper limit of the range, that is 9. What is the starting limit of the range? It should be the previous element plus 1. Previous element, to get the previous element, if we have something in result, then we can use its end which is at the top. We can use that element as the previous, else we can use 0 as our previous element. So we can use in the for loop we can use previous plus 1 to start with, and the end with is 10, which will end at 9 exclusively. So here if we subtract, so we will be subtracting everything with the n, because that's how we get to the solution. So when we subtract n with x, if it becomes lesser than 0, then we will break the loop. So because any element greater than this will not lead us to the result. If it is not so, then we will recursively call this function. Before calling the function, we will reduce our n, and we will reduce our k by 1 because we used one element, and we will update we will add one more element to the result so far, that is x, whichever we will be using. So this way we will call it recursively. So this will fill our result. Now we will call the recursive function in our main program. So we will call it with a empty list, and n and k as we are getting from the input. So this will be our code. Let me try to run this. So once again, so why is this like this? So I am updating my result itself, so I have to update my result so far, that's why it become like this. So let me run it again. Okay, now it's working fine. Now I will submit the solution. Yeah, the solution works fine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.